In this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 most important things I wish I knew back in the day about stuttering in my own stuttering journey. I'm going to tell you what I wish somebody had told me long time ago so that I didn't have to spend so much time discovering all those things. I've discovered them for you, so stay tuned. Number one, where is this invisible tension coming from? For me personally, stuttering began vividly when I was 10. I was a kid back in the day, so I didn't have a clue how to react, how to respond, how to deal with it. And it started out for me as feeling tension in my body and feeling that I can't say what I want to say as a result. You know the word, you know it perfectly. You know you can say it in principle, you can articulate it, you can say it properly. And you prepare, and then you feel the tension growing and you get stuck. Or you know your presentation perfectly. You rehearse it, you say it to yourself, you say it to the mirror several times, all perfectly, you feel great. Then you get to the spotlight and you feel the tension growing. You feel the tension growing and you get stuck. You don't know where exactly this tension is coming from. What exactly I'm doing differently right now compared to the rehearsal so that I stutter now. I feel that tension now. It feels like some invisible force coming from out of the blue is acting upon me. And it's invisible, mostly because we see, we feel, we sense the speaking interaction, and the signal goes bypassing the thinking regions of the brain into this tension. It transforms into this tension. It's similar like when you see a shark. You don't go thinking, okay, this is a shark, that's dangerous, right? There is no time for thinking about it. You get an instant, an automatic response with your body, of your body. The same thing happens here. Speaking interaction is a button, boom, and we get a result, this tension. So we don't see what is that program that brings the result. What is that signal that our body gets that causes tension and stuttering? So we want to make it visible. And let's do it now, shall we? So here it is. Just two ingredients form this invisible signal. I'm not in control of my speaking, and it's so bad. I wish I knew that back in the day, because what this knowledge does, it does two things. First, it deconstructs, dismantles, demystifies stuttering. We can clearly see what's going on. And second, the opposite is also true. If I feel in control and if I feel good about it, then I'm free. So let's dive deeper into the next 9 items on the list that are inevitably going to get us to that freedom. Let's move to the next one. Number 2, trying to get through it. When I was starting to feel a tension as a kid, the first reaction to that tension and the first stuttering was, come on, you can do it, you can do it. But the more you try to be in control, the less you feel in control. The more force you're trying to put, the more tension and stuttering you get. I wish I knew back in the day that I don't have to lock myself into that state of tension. And we want to transform this tension into relaxation. Especially it applies to the first sound in each of the stress syllables in the phrase. We want to transform this tension into relaxation. So we want to land into those stresses and feel how our body relaxes. I wish I knew that back in the day when I was forcing myself into that lock, feeling the panic my body, trying to get more control, growing stuttering bigger into that invisible monster. So let's move to the next one. Number 3, I don't stutter alone. I thought that since I don't stutter alone, then everything is fine with me in general. So I should be able to speak fine in general. There is only some anxiety that I feel, some nervousness that I want to remove, some little thing I need to just take away. And after years and years of working with people who stutter, I see that this is the maybe number one thing that is stopping us, holding us back from actually taking action. It's amazing, but we expect that we somehow magically could remove this anxiety and all of a sudden feel confident, powerful, and just relaxed. Oftentimes blaming ourselves for not making it right, like you should have done it fluently, why couldn't you do it fluently? Each time being surprised for not doing it perfectly right. We want to admit and acknowledge that yes, we do have a predisposition for stuttering. We have a mismatch between the way your brain and the speech mechanism process speech. They're not quite aligned. We are absolutely sane people, and this anxiety, this nervousness, this tension, they're not coming out of the blue. They're coming from the real fact, objective ground, the way we're wired. And we can choose to hide and run away from this fact and keep doing this, or we can choose to admit this fact and to start working on the very structure of our speaking. And I wish I knew this before, because it could save me years and years and years of rambling, waiting for this magic to happen. Let's move to the next one. Number 4, getting free from stuttering is not about slowing down. One of my students told me this story. In the Free From Stutter program, we're learning new skills. The relaxation, effortless power, expression, feeling the structure in our speaking. And of course, we start at a slower pace, dismantling our speaking to those fundamentals, playing, learning, developing those fundamentals, putting them together, gradually increasing the pace. So when we have those elements put together, we have a slower training speech. We start making disclosures. And first, we're making disclosure to a close person. In that case, that was a mom to that student. So she's coming to her mom saying, okay, this is the new way I'm going to speak. It's a bit slower. And then we gradually increase the pace. Don't be surprised. And her mom is looking at her and says, how many times I told you to slow down before and you never listened to me? And now somebody is telling you to do that and you do that. And it perfectly shows how regular people think about slowing down. They often say to us, like, come on, just breathe, just slow down, relax. And we, people who stutter, also oftentimes follow this line of thought because we see somebody in the speech program and like using some weird techniques or something, and they're speaking kind of slow, and we go thinking, yeah, that's what I should be doing, slowing down. And that was one of my initial line of thoughts as well. Of course, slowing down helps, but it doesn't change the way we speak. When we increase the pace to normal pace, we get back to stuttering because we speak the same way. Slowing down doesn't change the structure of our speaking. We start learning new skills at a slower pace, but the key words here, learning new skills, not slower pace. I wish I knew that back in the day. Number 5, freedom from stuttering is not about stuttering less. Now, this is really mind-blowing, and it took me quite a long time to realize. We logically think that we want to stutter less. We say that we have good days, we have bad days, meaning that on good days we stutter less and on bad days we stutter more. So we go thinking, okay, today I stuttered like 50%. Okay, tomorrow I'll try to stutter 40%, and then 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then a stressful or hard situation happens and I stutter like crazy in every single phrase. So this whole concept of stuttering less is an illusion. I can be 99% fluent, but if I'm not feeling I'm in control, stuttering is still there, stays intact. So getting free from stuttering is not about stuttering less, it's about feeling more in control. And you might ask, what's the difference in control and say it fluently, stuttering less? What's the point? What's the difference? You see, control doesn't mean fluency. It's not like, I want to be in control, I want to be in control. Control means that you decide, you choose, you lead, you feel truly present. For example, intentional stuttering. You stutter, but you stutter on your terms. You choose, you decide, you set the terms on which you stutter. You're in control. Or using the training speech, you also decide, you choose, you lead. And yes, when you use the training speech, the whole point is that you don't stutter, you say it fluently. But the key element, the key ingredient here is feeling in control, that you set the terms on which you say it, not the fluently, saying it fluently part or element. I wish I knew that back in the day, trying to stutter less to die. Okay, let's move to the next one. Number 6, freedom from stuttering is about interaction. Reading out loud, breathing exercises, meditation, talking to the mirror. I did all that back in the day, and these are awesome. But guess what is missing? Yes, the interaction is missing. So if you're doing those, reading out loud, talking to the mirror, whatever, I'm not saying you to stop doing those. These are awesome, but I want you to think about the next step, the next level, because speaking is interaction. We want to bring relaxation into the actual speaking. It's not the relaxation before it. Relax, and then you go. No, the very act of speaking should be relaxing. Speaking should be the source of relaxation. How do we do that? It all comes down to some tools, to some techniques, stuttering techniques. So the stuttering techniques, their main goal is to bring some anchors to our speaking so that we feel more structure, so that we feel more in control. And I use the hand stuttering technique. That's the technique I use myself, I teach my students. That's the technique that helps us align all the processes that happen when we speak. And honestly, back in the day, I didn't quite see the difference between the speaking exercises we're doing at home alone and the speech techniques, tools that we use while we're speaking. And I wish I knew that before. Number 7, DIY, do it yourself. It took me 10 long years between learning about the program, speech program I want to participate. I liked it, I learned about it, the hand stuttering technique, beautiful. And actually going for it, 10 whole years. Because the first reaction I had was, I know the technique, I can do it myself. And it's also an illusion, because this DIY do-it-yourself concept comes down to practicing with yourself something which is not quite the technique that you want to learn, and then trying to take out of the pocket and use it in hard situations. And there is a huge gap between practicing with yourself, doing it yourself, and trying to use that technique in the hard situation. huge distance. It's like trying to jump from one floor to the next floor instead of going up the staircase. You need a number of steps you want to go through. You want to develop the training speech. And most importantly, you want to create speaking experiences where you use the training speech, where you choose, you decide, you lead, you feel you're in control. You set the terms for the way you speak. That's what we dread, and that's what we skip in the DIY do-it-yourself mode. And also I discovered when I finally got to the speech therapy, to the speech program, that the technique I was trying to apply was quite different from the actual technique we learned in the program. And of course, I wish I knew that before. It could save me those 10 precious years. Number 8, that's not me. When I finally took the speech program, the first reaction I had was, whoa, that's not me. All this relaxation, slower pace, using hand to synchronize our speaking with moving our fingers, all that seemed so weird. And I literally saw some other guys in the program quitting on the first day saying, wow, this is crazy. I just want to speak normally. Like, that's just not me. And I can get it. I totally can get it. I felt this way. I oftentimes feel this way to this day. But I guess it was Albert Einstein who said that it's insane to do the same thing and expect a different result. Yet, that's what we're doing. We're trying to be fluent, we're trying to say it fluently, we're trying to say it fluently, getting the same result, trying over and over again, doing the same thing. So we really need to make a choice. Who is that me? A person who doesn't want to bring change, or a person who wants to bring change? And if you want to bring change, we want to accept, we want to admit, want to acknowledge, and that's a huge topic of acceptance here, that we are already weird. That's the way we're wired. That's who we are. It's not that this training speech, this weird training speech, makes you weird. No, it just reveals to the world, opens up that you're weird. This whole topic of acceptance is all about opening up and saying, yes, I'm weird. And there is nothing to be ashamed of. So when we say, that's not me, in fact, we are running away from ourselves. We're hiding from ourselves. We're not accepting ourselves and our desire to change. When we say, that's not me, in fact, we're closing the door. We're not giving ourselves a chance to change. And openness and open use of the training speech opened the door for us for this change. When we're working on our speech, we oftentimes focus on fluency, but I found that the most important exercise we're doing over and over again is disclosure. That's the exercise to open up and to be real you. And yes, when you openly use the training speech, you're disclosing not only stuttering, but also your desire to change. And both stuttering and your desire to change are not something to be ashamed of. You should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of your desire to change. And I know this is hard, this is uncomfortable, but I know for sure that this openness, when there is nothing to hide, you're proud of yourself, you're active, open, and positive about speaking interaction and yourself. That's what brings real, true freedom. And I wish I knew that back in the day when I was in my program, in my speech therapy. I was not a very good student. Yes, I was ashamed big time of this training speech, and it took me a while to realize this major truth about openness, shame, and what really makes us truly free. Number 9, it doesn't work. People oftentimes listen to me talking about this openness, about using the training speech, and then they go saying, yeah, that's all great, but what do you think about this technique? Maybe this technique is better than that one. Maybe we should use belly breathing, not costal breathing, and so on and so forth. You see, the truth is, all the techniques are out there. You can find any technique, but the technique doesn't work without you. And when people say, I tried that technique, I tried this technique, it didn't work, this helped me a little bit, but still didn't work, and we're hopping from one technique to the other, trying to find some other magic technique. You can get to freedom from stuttering using absolutely different techniques. It's not about the technique so much. It's about you actually going that path, that journey, step by step. And this going consists of creating positive speaking experiences. And when I say creating positive speaking experiences, the key word here is creating. Not positive speaking experiences as we might think. What is crucial is that you decide, you choose, you lead, you speak on your own terms. So this creating doesn't come down only to creating speaking experiences. It's also creating a new feeling attached, associated with the act of speaking. And overall, you are creating your life. You feel that you're not drifting in the default mode. I wish I knew that back in the day when I was also quite a bad student, not quite trusting the technique, not quite trusting myself, not quite giving myself enough time to actually go that journey step by step. The last one, number 10, is for parents. I wish my parents knew something about stuttering. I love my parents, they're awesome, but back in the day, as a kid, they had no clue about stuttering, what to do with stuttering, how to react to stuttering, how to deal with that. The seed of stuttering is the way we're wired, the predisposition, but then the stuttering grows as the muscle and emotional memory accumulates. So the earlier our parents have clarity about how to bring security and support to the child's speaking on the one hand, and not build the shame and guilt and unrealistic expectations on the other hand. The faster, the earlier they have this clarity, the easier it is to deal with stuttering as it just starts to develop. As it still doesn't grow into a huge invisible monster that starts to rule our life. I personally see stuttering as a big gift for myself. As I learned a lot, as I developed a lot, as getting free from stuttering, helping other people who stutter became a central theme of what I'm doing these days. Yet I totally understand that it doesn't necessarily feel like a gift for many other people who stutter. And I wish parents had more clarity about how to help their kids so that their kids can experience, explore, and develop other gifts in their lives. Thank you so much for watching. For more videos, subscribe to this YouTube channel. For more interaction, join the Free From Stutter Facebook group. And if you want to explore how you can start your journey or continue your journey to freedom from stuttering, head over to freefromstutter.com and join my Free From Stutter assessment and improve training. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Or you know your presentation. You say it to yourself, you rehearse, you say it to the mirror several times, and then you get to the spotlight and you feel the tension growing, your tension growing, and you get stuck. One more time.